Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. Holla Shy Town, Scream ATL, Shout Carolinas. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Inspirational
Yeah, some days it have its moments. I guess today is one of those days.
Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. We are in the building.
Yeah, I guess it's just the sad today is gonna act up. But we're not gonna worry about that.
What's wrong with what's wrong,
Ursula.
what's wrong with Ursula?
Oh, her screen froze up. Yeah, her screen froze up.
Right.
Okay.
And so I was
Welcome,
like,
welcome, welcome to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. I am Laura Simmons.
I am Margaret Green. Hello, how y'all doing?
I am Ursula D. Allen Woody Eel. Woody Eel.
What a ew. Okay, all right, guys. So y'all know we have Michelle Hood
Woo woo.
on the show today. But before we get to Michelle Hood, y'all know we gotta have a little gossip. And so today I'm gonna mention about I want to send prayers out to Jalen Ferguson of the Baltimore Ravens linebacker. He died at the age of 26. So I want to send a prayer out to his family. Um, then I also want to mention
My God.
about the man who shot two young ladies in Atlanta Subway
Subway.
restaurant
Mhm.
workers. One was 26 and one was 24. The 26-year-old one who died all over because they put too
Mayonnaise.
much mayonnaise on the thing on his sandwich, and I just thought that was just like sad. But she was
Very sad.
26 years old, and they said that she started working there 3 weeks ago. One of the
Yeah,
young ladies had just started working there for 3 weeks
yeah.
ago, and she, lost her life to her. It was just
Over
crazy. We
some
should never,
mayonnaise.
yeah, and it happened in the downtown Atlanta. So
Mm-mm-mm.
sad. Then I want to
I've
go
gone
on.
I've gone to that Subway.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking to myself, I was wondering if that's the same subway that we went to when we came down there and we did that when y'all had that. Remember that event we
It
had down
is.
there?
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah, because we went there too.
Yeah, it is the
Yeah.
same
Well, he
one.
said he closing it up. The owner said he's gonna close it. He said he don't want to. From what I read, he said he don't want to put employees through it to go back in there.
It's
Yeah.
getting rough down there, y'all. That's what, like I say, that's close to where I work. But thankfully, I don't have to go down there 5 days a week. But it's getting rougher since the pandemic. More people are homeless. More people are desperate. And then it's just the world how it is anyway.
Yeah, people
It's
getting crazy.
yeah, it's rougher than it was, if you can believe it. When I was a
Yeah.
child, that was a beautiful place though, downtown Atlanta.
I
Yeah.
was watching a video today where this lady was fussing with her landlord. It was a live video on Facebook. The man told her that her rent was going up from I think from $1,200 or $1,500 a month to $2,000. And she told him, I can't afford $2,000 a month. I'm barely making it as it is. And you won't do this and you won't fix this and this and that. And he said I'm actually being as generous as I can with the increase because my expenses have gone up, and this the first time I've actually increased the rent since you've been in here. And she's been living there for 3 years, and
You said
he
this
had
is
never.
in Atlanta?
No, this is I forget what the location was, but it was the dialogue was going on live on um um Facebook or YouTube. It was one of them, and she was just going off. She was mad. She told him, "I have a friend that lived down in the same neighborhood, lived down the street, and she paid such and such, and she got marble floors and this and that." He said, and he said she paid $3,500 a month. He said because before that, he said I can go and do the repairs to this house and make and do all these elaborate things. He said, and you could be paying the same thing. And she said, "But I don't understand. I can't pay." I said, "Lord have mercy." I said, "This is just getting crazy." I'm like, and I feel for him because when you're a landlord, you got to keep up with the expenses of insurance and taxes. And right now, both of those are going up tremendously. Not only just for the landlords, but for investors too. I mean, for homeowners too.
Yeah,
It's getting crazy.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to stay on that subject right now. We want to move on to something else before we get to our guest. We're gonna. I also wanted to mention about the mother who had 7 children. She tried to kill all 7 of them. She ended up succeeding with 3. The 3 youngest ones, she killed a 9-month-old, a 3-year-old, and a 5-year-old. The older 4, they were able to jump out the window. She set the house on fire. And the husband said his wife was battling mental health issues. He said he still loves her, and he forgives her because he said that I'm gonna still give her the love of Christ that any man should give his wife. That's what he said.
Wow.
But yeah.
What was this?
This was
So she survived, but she killed the 3.
She killed 3 of them already before the fire was set. Before she set the fire, because she set a fire in the house, and the 4 oldest ones jumped out the window. The 9-year-old is actually in critical condition right now, and yeah, she did. It was mental health. She had some kind of mental health issue. Yeah. Yeah, and they said that so the 9-year-old is in critical condition. The other 3 older children, they're okay. They were able to get out. They all jumped out the window. The other 4 jumped out the window, but the only one that got injured was the 9-year-old. The 9-month-old and the 3-year-old and the 5-year-old, she had already killed them before she set the fire. So,
gosh,
yep. So, yeah, that's so sad. Yeah. But guys, I don't want to hold up too long. Anybody have anything they want to talk about before we get to our guests?
Can somebody say something happy? Because that was all very depressing. All of that.
I know. But it's just so sad that that's all that's in the news right now. We have so much sad stuff that's going on in the world, and it just seemed like, I don't know, it just seemed like nobody is not getting any better. It seemed like it's just getting worse.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but in good news then, I'll give you some good news. I walked today 3 miles. Yeah!
Woo-hoo!
I walked up 12 flights of stairs. Woo!
I walked down the hall in my building like 5-8 times. It's sad because mental illness is real. It is.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes.
Yes. Oh, she's saying yes for you because you walked the 3 miles.
Mm-hmm. She said 8 tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna try.
8. Woo.
That's a lot of walking, but but anyway, y'all. So anything else? Anybody got anything good to happen to them today? She's laughing. Yeah, but yeah. I know it's sad news, but it's real. It's real. We living in a real time. We living in real times, and real stuff happen, and it's unfortunately be some sad stuff. Some sad stuff. But yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, it is. But I did want to say this though. So as y'all know, the month of July is going to be a very busy month for me. So we'll be having our guests on Tuesdays because for the month of July, I won't be able to come on in the month of July because we actually start our filming in July. So it's going to be a very busy month for me. We got rehearsals like back to back, and we just got a lot going on. So Thursday for the month of July, we won't be here, but we'll be here this Thursday coming up. But yeah. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Charlene. Hey,
Yep.
Miss Charlene Sumter. Oh, she's tired. That person.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, y'all know it's that time. It's time to bring our girl out here so we can shoot the breeze with her. Wait a minute. I got a little picture I wanted to bring up. Did I post it? Oh, I thought that was what's wrong with Ursula? You froze again? I thought you had froze up again. I'm like, okay.
I'm
He's
trying
on red light.
I'm tired of people asking me what's wrong with her.
Red light, because you keep looking like you froze.
Yeah, you do.
You disappeared, Laura.
I know. I'm trying to get the picture of our guests on here. Wait a minute, I'm gonna disappear again. Don't panic.
Don't panic.
Don't panic, baby. Okay, so with no further ado, we want to bring our guest, Michelle Hood. Welcome. How are you today, Michelle?
I got my purple. I'm trying to represent.
That's right. You do it.
I'm sort of somewhere representing.
You're representing for me because you're here.
I'm representing.
That's
right.
Yeah, you
And
see
you
how
know
I
I
purple
love
glasses
you.
on.
You know I love you, so I'm always representing for you.
There you go, Laura. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I got my glasses. I didn't have no shirt.
So next time you know you're okay.
Right.
You're okay.
Yeah, I didn't have a purple shirt, but I got the purple
That's all right.
glasses. And
I'll make sure that I have one for
background.
each of you.
Okay.
I'll make sure that I get all of you purple vitiligo shirts to represent.
Okay,
How
yes,
about that?
please do.
Okay.
I even put the background purple today. See? Look at that. See? Coordinate. All right. So Michelle, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm tired a little bit, and I guess miscombobulated. I got in last night, had a vacation day, jumped up, went to work. They was like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "What's today?" I was like, "Oh," they was like, "You had a vacation day, but we need you. Would you stay?" So I stayed. So.
Oh,
you're so sweet. They wouldn't give me to do it.
Okay.
I'd be like, deuces.
I'd be like, today I got that vacation. All right, I catch y'all tomorrow, then later, G.
I'll just put it back in my bank. I'll have another vacation day for something else. So it'll work out. But
Michelle,
first, I want to say this. I thank you so much for this platform. I thank you so much for allowing me to come and share. And, I love you guys. So, I see you. And, of course, you over here, Miss Ursula Allen, comedian, author. What else? Philanthropist. What else? What else? You just,
you so stupid. We love you, Michelle. Like I said, we are always supporting you in spirit. And when you were on with us on that show commenting, that's why I said to Laura, we got to get Michelle on here because I know you got so much good stuff going on.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. This is June, which is Awareness Month for vitiligo. We give, even though we'll take the 30 days, but I told them, that's 365 days.
Yeah.
Every day of the year is something to advocate for on behalf of knowing your worth, knowing that this doesn't define who you are. It's what the content of you. That's who you really are. And so, you know, we had our 3-day conference. It started on Friday, and actually it ended on yesterday. A lot of them dispersed on Sunday because that was the end of it, but it was so many that stayed over. We end up having just powwows, you know, and just still meeting up with each other. And we get to see so many that, and then we haven't been able to see each other in 3 years. So it's just been good because of the pandemic. We couldn't have our conferences. So we haven't been able to do too much of anything. Beverly Smith and I, well, I say we're the Siamese twins. When it comes to the Congressional Black Caucus, we go and we rally and we speak, but we haven't even been able to have that in 3 years. Yeah. So everything has been virtual, which is fine, but it's nothing like hands-on and that personal gravitation, if you understand what I'm saying. So, so this year, we didn't have a large group like we have had because of the prices of flights, gas, but we still had a tremendous outpour. And I'm just so proud of the children that are growing up, you know, and they put so much insight. And then we have dermatologists that come and they travel just for our conferences. And you don't have to pay them anything because now they're so dedicated. They come and they give research, which Dr. Harris, he's one of our researchers and he's out of UMass. And they're doing everything that they can to try to bring forth a cure. I personally, I take what I am. I'm okay. I don't need, you know, they was like, well, Michelle, you got color coming back. Okay, whoopee, you know, deal with the children or the ones that's new that it has happened to and they can't deal with the deformations, you know. Right. But even with that, you know, I had to speak and I was letting them know only until you accept this, you can't make anybody else accept it if you can't accept it. And acceptance first starts with the individual. So, you know, once they do that, you know, and it's hard. It's easy to say, but it's hard to live, you know, because when you look in the mirror and you see the transformation take place and is different than what society considers to be perfect, which none of us are perfect, right? But society wants to stem that if you don't look a certain way, if you're not a certain way, if you're distorted, something's wrong. You can be just as plain and still something is wrong. So we have to stop judging people by the covers of that they wear and know the content of their heart. Because once you know this, that's what brings this out, you know?
Well, so, I want to say this, Michelle, before you continue on. For those people that don't know who you are, can you let them know who you are first and tell them a little bit about yourself so that they'll know who they're talking to, who's talking?
I'm Michelle Hood. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I live in Belleville, which is a few miles out from Detroit. I left the city, but I am on the leadership council of our vitiligo support group that I have been affiliated with now for 14 years. I'm an advocate. I say a motivational speaker. Education, I don't have qualifications, but if you consider life and the turmoil that I've been through and the storms that I have come out of, I can educate you on that.
Yeah.
I have had vitiligo now for 20 plus years.
Oh, wow.
Within the past 4, it might be 5 or 6, I stopped counting. I want to say between 4 and 5, I turned complete. At one point in time, when it first started, it started internally, which I didn't know. We didn't understand. My doctor didn't even understand. But it started down in the canal of my ear, and he thought I was scratching my ear raw. And I was like, my ear ain't raw. What are you talking about? He was like, you keep scratching your ear raw. I was like, no. But then it started out with a dot, and I kept that dot for years. And then stress is a big thing that brings on vitiligo. And two, I'm going to piggyback. I'm going to go back and forth for a minute. Vitiligo and lupus are tied, right? But only thing,
Thank you,
the
Jonathan.
biggest organ is our skin. But with lupus, it attacks the organs.
Right.
With vitiligo, it attacks the cells.
That means
So I know you all probably don't know exactly, but vitiligo, it's an autoimmune disease as well as lupus, but it's an autoimmune disease. But what it does for us, it thinks it's a deficiency where there is a deficiency in our body, but the body doesn't know where the deficiency is. And wherever it's weak for us, it's the cells that create our melanin. So it's thinking that it's bad. Just like if you have a cold, you get the flu, your body is a machine. It knows to attack it and flush it out, right? So you can feel better. It gets all of that out. Well, my body thinks that these machines, well, my machine, it thinks that whatever it is, the bad bacteria, they think it's the cells that's creating my melanin to keep me like you. So it's attacking that. So I need that melanin in order to survive. So like how I am now, I can't go out without sunscreen because I'll burn instantly. I'll turn red as a peak. And last weekend, I was in Chicago. I had my sunscreen on. I put it all over here, right? And I had a headband on. But my headband kept slipping back. And I burned all the way around here.
Oh, wow.
And I can't tell immediately until later. I'll be like, dang, that hurt. I'm like, am I red? They was like, oh my God, yes. So all of this was red. So I had to keep using aloe vera gel to take the redness. But I have no protection, none. So with your dark melanin, even though you can tan, it's still protecting you. And the more or the older I get, or the more it starts to fade away, I think it goes like deep. I mean, I think we have certain levels of skin that we have. You know, they say how they could cut you 8 layers deep. I don't know if my skin is 8 layers deep, but the more I look at it, I start to get paler. I'm lighter than my white cohorts. You know, they turn pink. I turn completely white. And then by us being this dark pigmented, you can tell more with dark pigmented skin than you can with Caucasians. So brown skin and dark skin, you will realize it more so than you would with Caucasians. So I know I've said more than enough as far as introducing myself, but I'm an advocate to speak out to educate you on what vitiligo is.
Yeah.
So can I ask you for one of the viewers, Laura, do you still have the comment?
Yeah, she wanted to say that.
So Angela, I can't see her last name, but she said a dot. She said she has a few white dots that have been spreading in other areas. What are warning signs in case this person or others are wondering?
Okay, so if you have a dot and it you know, I was at the conference the other day and we were speaking. I was doing an interview and they were asking, and I say, it's not funny, but people, when you're trying to tell them about vitiligo, they don't really want to hear, right? That ain't important. But as soon as they think they got a dot, not anything towards you, Angela, but they, oh my God, they tell me, oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you do this. Soon as they get a dot, oh my God, I got a dot. Is this vitiligo?
Right.
Then they get scared. And I was like, but didn't you just tell me that I was beautiful? What are you scared for? I was like, no. But basically, Angela, you would know if it spreads, if you just have a whole lot of little white dots, that they call that aging spots or something like that.
Mhm.
But vitiligo, it will come if it starts off as a dying and it starts to continue to grow in that one area, not a whole lot of little specks, but it will become to be one. And so if you have a few that popped up on your leg, if they're not all within conjunction of each other, I doubt very seriously. It could just be age spots.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I
You
have a
can kind
little
of tell what it
dots.
is. And there's different,
Sit
I'm
down,
not calling
Michelle.
you old.
She is not calling you old.
Michelle, do you mind if I show that picture again so that she maybe she
No,
can
you
get
can
an
show
idea?
any picture. I don't have any problems. You can show any picture. I'm not, hey,
Okay. So this
I
is
don't
a
want to,
picture of
I don't want to
Michelle
slip.
when it first
Now,
started.
you see the one
Oh,
right there
wow.
in the chest? You see the one that's right there in my chest?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it
Any
started.
type of trauma that I dealt with, right? I had to go under for them to do a test and they had to stick a scope down my throat. But they said that while I was asleep, I kept going up like that, right?
Mhm.
So that was where the tube was. So any place that I have any type of trauma, like if you could see, not BJ, but see my arm here?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they would pull blood.
Oh
And you
wow.
can see where that's my pigment,
Mm-hmm.
but any type of trauma where they would stick me, to draw blood, I got those in both of my arms. Wait, let me see.
Wow.
Right there.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So any type of trauma, and when we all get together, it's funny because we look at each other and I just look and see how God's hand can move to bring forth art. And that's what I was telling them um, at the conference. God makes no mistakes,
Amen.
none.
No.
And if this hadn't have happened to me, I wouldn't have known the strength that I had. I didn't know I was a strong person, but I was always told when I was little by my grandmother that they would say that I was going to be a warrior. And I
Mm.
thought a warrior meant, oh, I'm going to fight. That's all I thought about. Okay, I'm going to fight my way through. But that had nothing to do with it. Now I see, you know, because if I can be the ones that can carry some of those that's weak, that can't see, and if we have so many too that have committed suicide
Mhm.
because of this. Here in the United States, we're free. People can come up in your face and scream. They can do all of that. But in certain countries, it's not tolerated. They're executed. They're killed. You know, um, my cousin, I've always wanted to go to Dubai. My cousin told me, he said, you can't go there. I said, don't tell me where I can't go. I can go anywhere I want to go. I'll work. I can make my money. He was like, no, you can't. He said, I was there for 10 years. If you go over there, they're going to think that I'm bringing them something that can hurt them.
Yeah.
Really?
And that's
Of all of this. Yeah.
I could believe that. I could
And
believe
so
that.
he said, you can be somewhere and they will have a sharpshooter and kill you instantly.
Are you serious?
Wow.
Yeah, because they think that she's spreading some kind of disease around
Because
them.
when
In
you think
Dubai?
They
about
don't
this,
know.
Really?
When
yeah,
people don't know something, the first thing they think is that you spreading something to them.
right.
So if they don't understand
Unfor-
it, that's why.
even and even here, Laura, people, because they didn't know, they
Mm-hmm.
thought that if they would touch us, that they
Yep.
would catch it. They thought it was something that they can catch. But when
Mm-hmm.
you're dealing with the third world countries, even
Yep.
though they're beautiful and people go over there because of the land, they still have that mentality of thinking maybe I'm a leper. You know what I mean? That I
Mm-hmm.
can come and bring something to them. So in order to protect them, what do? They get rid of what they think that's going to hurt them.
Ooh.
So that's one place that I just did like this. You ain't got to worry about me going over there. So that's one place that I know that I can't go. But we have so many around the country that are still fighting diligently. We have them in Africa, Nigeria, and I'm trying to think. I'm gonna mess this name up, so I won't even say it because I'm gonna mess it up. But
see, I ain't the only one that messed names up. See,
I was gonna say Joan Law. She do it too.
It's Simba somebody.
This my Scorpio sister. That's why. This my Scorpio sister. We do this. We do stuff like that. We mess names up. That's what we do.
And it has no ethnicity, no age barriers. We even had one, statistics stated that if you didn't get it by 40, you couldn't get it. And that's not true. Because Beverly, and I love this woman, but Beverly, she got it, I believe, in her late 60s or 70s. And then we had another lady that came to our conference before the pandemic, and she was 70 plus.
Yeah.
So, and she got lupus. Vitiligo. But I think the gene will be there. I think what started mine was, like I said, I had a dot here forever. And I probably would have still had that dot, but I dealt with stress. When my mother passed, then I got married. Talk about stress. That's a whole nother.
That's another show, girl.
Yeah.
Girl.
But you know what? She, Margaret went through it under her eyes at one time. She was under a lot of stress, but she probably didn't know what she was dealing with at the time.
Didn't.
But and it went away. It went away, but it went away when she moved away from Chicago. When she moved away from Chicago, that's when it cleared up because she.
And I didn't even realize it.
Here and
I didn't even realize it until one day I looked in the mirror and I was like, "Oh, it's gone."
Well, I was also reading up that they said that there are some treatments for it, and they were saying steroids is one, and then they said a combination of ultraviolet light and
the ultraviolet light. I still say, I used Protopic when I got diagnosed. I was already diagnosed, but I just didn't do anything about it because I didn't know what to do. We didn't have options. No one talked about it. So you didn't know. When I went with that one little dot, I went down to the medical center and one dermatologist seen me, and then it was like 15 doctors came in the room. I thought I was getting ready to die. And I'm looking, they all looking at me because they all just came in. And then you have vitiligo. I'm like, okay, so what is that? Am I going to die? And they said, no, but it could stay that way or it could spread. That's all they knew. And at that time, all they knew was to do was experiments. But when I did the Rayolight, I found mine getting bigger. So I stopped. I haven't had treatment. And then I stopped for a long time. And then that's when I met Dr. Henry Lim of Henry Ford Hospital. Someone on the street seen me and they said, if you go to him, I'm telling you, you can repigment. And I did repigment. But once I repigment, as you can see, it didn't stay.
Oh, wow.
So I don't want to go back through that. And I'm not trying to discourage anyone, but it still depends upon your whole makeup, your body. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know what my deficiency is. I know that I was always anemic, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it, where someone else may not have been anemic and their genes are strong enough that they could retract and hold it. Yeah. They're still trying to find out all of those things. So there will be hope, and I believe one day there will be a cure, but I still say we have babies that's being born. This is nothing that's hereditary in my family. I'm the only one that has it. No one.
Yeah. Well, I had read, and it said that the study showed that changes in the immune system are the responsibility for this condition. That's what it said. So I did read a whole article on it, and it was saying that the immune system.
We don't know because even for me, I take all my vitamins. I build up my immune system. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
When it comes down to it, I'm healthy, but it's something in my body that's telling it that the cells that create my melanin is bad and it's attacking it. And that's why I'm eliminating, and I'm praying and asking God, and Lord, I know you hear me, that I get to keep this because this was my color. So I can just have a tag. You laying hands on me, Ursula?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I ain't kidding, but I'm hoping that I
I'm
get to
not
keep it.
kidding either. I'm trying to,
Um,
I'm sending my energy your way too.
yes, as they say, touch and agree.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
But
right.
I just want something to hold on to for my color, But it's just like I don't realize that I've lost more until I look at an old picture. And I'd
Right.
be like, dang, I had just a few, last year, I had it all on here.
Yeah.
This is all I got left. It's
Yeah.
steady going away. But I think when I didn't probably realize that maybe when BJ passed,
You
you
got stressed.
know,
You
that
stressed.
was a lot of stress. Even though you're not going, oh my God, I can't take it. Oh, the body knows on the inside that you're stressed.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
it does. It will
absolutely.
You
let you
don't
know.
have to say I'm stressed. You
Mhm.
can be sitting there smiling, and we know how to put on a cover. You
Mhm.
know, we know how to hide all of that's in, so
Yes,
you don't project on the outside, but the body knows.
Mhm.
And
one of
so I think, yeah.
no. I just wanted to tell you before I forget that one of I think it was Angelique. She said that you are very beautiful before and after.
Yeah, it was Angela.
Aw,
Yeah.
thank you,
In person.
Angela.
Yeah.
Hugs and kisses, hugs and kisses. But
Yeah. But you know what?
when your self-esteem,
It didn't really become really popular. You didn't hear a lot about it until the Michael Jackson
Michael
came out.
Jackson.
When
Mhm.
they start
well,
talking about Michael Jackson, then that's
I
when you
take
start
that
hearing
back.
about him more.
I take that back. They tried to say that he was bleaching his skin. They
Yeah,
Right.
didn't
they
want to
sure
put it
did.
on vitiligo, right?
Hmm. Yeah. But he
What
kept
really
telling
brought
people.
all of this to fruition, I give grace, honor. Well, not honor. Let me say that. I give thanks to Tyra Banks, because if Tyra Banks would have never gotten Chantel Brown, which is Winnie Hilo, for the public to see the visual of vitiligo, they made it art. And only because she did that
Right.
was that became to be an awareness. And then people, oh, what beautiful art. Oh, but even with Michael, they scrutinized him.
Yeah, they did.
And what he did was, because his appearance was everything to him,
Mhm.
right? If he had, I remember he was talking about he had a pimple and he didn't want to sing because people was going to see his pimple. His appearance was
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah.
You could take two things with having vitiligo. You can take the shot or peel, and you can take it and it would dissolve it would make you like this rapidly. And that's what he did, right?
Hmm.
So they were saying he
Mhm.
was bleaching his skin. When
Right.
they would see him and say that now he's trying to tan, that was the rail light. But that's what he had it in. Instead of standing up in it, he would lay down in it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Only until you know, you can speculate, you can say this, you can say
Yeah.
that. But when Michael Jackson had it, and another thing, see, Michael Jackson had lupus that in
Wow.
turn
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He
turned
did.
to vitiligo.
Yeah.
So he had both that was attacking him,
Yeah.
right?
He was
And
dealing
then
with
not
a
only
lot.
did he have both of those that was attacking him, he had the
Yeah.
people that were attacking him.
Yeah.
So
And
his
that was
image
his
is
stress.
everything.
That was his stress right there. The
Right.
people.
Right. Because he always did and I remember him saying, he always wanted to make sure that he was okay. He had a big nose, he had this. But no matter how talented he was, he didn't accept himself.
His own
He
skin.
was gifted, he was so gifted,
Mhm.
but he couldn't even accept it.
Right.
Because
Hmm.
I thought at first that it all came about when he got burnt with the Pepsi commercial. That's what I thought.
Well, the vitiligo probably did because that was stress. And then the medications that he was taking, you know, then that probably start to interact with not only his lupus, but that as well. You know, so you never know how exactly, but you know, but only until Tyra Banks did that for Chantel Brown is the only time now that people will see, and for those that watch, you know, but others, they just, you know, oh, don't, can you just put the money down right here? You know, they didn't want to touch you. People could be, I'm telling you, people can be so cruel to others. And then if it had to turn around and had to happen to them, they couldn't take it, you know? But I look at this as a lesson to me, because when I was younger, I used to make fun of people. But see how I had to walk in those shoes?
Yeah.
Never again.
And you know what? That is so true, because I remember the very first time I seen someone up close and personal with it. I didn't understand it. And I'm not gonna even lie to you. I thought that it was something that was contagious at the time, because it wasn't something that they talked about. You didn't hear about it. You know, you see these people, and you see people with the discoloration and stuff, and you just wondering, you know, okay, so what's their problem? What's going on? But it's because we didn't educate ourselves on it, and we didn't know that it was actually something that was causing this to happen. We just assumed that they were poisonous, or their germ, they're going to spread their germ. Just like she said, if you go into a foreign country, one of them foreign countries with that, they're going to think that she's coming over there to spread something. And guess what? They're going to take her out. And
you can be right here in America and ignorant. Ignorance is a bliss, for real. You know, because no one wants to, you know, it's just so sad how you can have so many closed-minded people. Only until it's at your door.
That's true. Very true.
You know,
well, you know, I had a cousin, a family, I'm not even sure if it was a cousin, a family member who did, you know, had the blotches or whatever. But I think something like this disease is hand in hand with so many other taboo issues. Nobody went to see like what's wrong. You understand what I'm saying? It was just like, it just is what it is. I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Some of the doctors didn't know, Ursula. A lot of the doctors didn't know. You still have doctors to this day. And for us, you know, we go to the gynecologist. Your vitiligo is internal as well.
Really?
I can't see up in my pocketbook.
That's true. That's true.
But when they think that, they was like, oh, we need to have testing done because we think, I don't want to scare you, but you may have cancer. And I was like, well, what is it? She said, you have some discoloration. I said, lady, it's vitiligo. Vitiligo. You see this?
Oh, somebody said that to you?
My gynecologist. They don't know. Just because they're doctors.
They don't know.
And you have only a handful of dermatologists that know about vitiligo.
Wow.
They were just talking about that at the conference. So Dr. Pandy, we have some wonderful, oh my God, some outstanding dermatologists. He's getting ready to start a university. So these dermatologists can, you know, learn. I go to the doctors all the time, you know, when I have to go. A lot of them have never seen vitiligo. They don't even know anything about it.
That's so hard to believe.
How did your husband deal with it? You said
because I was brown skinned before my husband, right? And then as I started to turn, and that's one of the things I was talking about at the conference, the elephant in the room. But he would always say, you're beautiful. You don't need no makeup. And I remember one instance, I was kind of upset with him, but not. But that's when my freedom began. I wouldn't go out the house if I didn't have my Dermablend. you know, and he would always say, you don't need all of that. But I'm like, you're not wearing it. You don't have to go out there and face these people that are cruel, you know, that will come up in your face and scream and laugh at you or mock you like you just did something to them. You know, you're normal. And he would be like, but you are beautiful. And one particular day he told me I didn't have time to put my makeup on because we had to go. And that day, that was the day that I went down in the pit of my soul. For someone to come, and you know how Walmart is crowded on Saturdays, everybody in Walmart on a Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And he was down the aisle. I was standing in the main aisle, but looking down at him. And when I turned, 2 women came up in my face and screamed to the loudest of their pitch. And I'm trying to hold my composure so I don't cry. But by the time he came down to the basket, I wear my feelings on my face. Mm-hmm. And he was like, what's wrong? And I couldn't do anything. I just kept shaking my head. And you know, like when you open your mouth, then you cry. You know, when you talk, it just floods.
Yeah.
And he said, put the stuff in the basket. Let's go. And we went outside and he said, what's wrong? And when I told him, he was like, where are they? I don't know. How you going? I'm supposed to describe them to a T after being humiliated. I don't know. But I let out all the tears. I cried. And he said, well, we could go home. I said, nope. Let's go back in the store.
Oh, somebody in the store started making fun of you?
They just stood there and screamed for all of these other people just to stop and look. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
I'm in the middle of the aisle and they just stopped and in my face like this and screamed to the loudest of their pitch, bust out laughing and walked away.
So did y'all go back in the store?
Punched him.
Yes. After I cried,
you
know, after I cried and I told him what happened, because he was like, show me where they at. I was like, I don't know how I couldn't even describe them except for they were 2 Caucasian women. That's all I could tell you. And he said,
Caucasian women?
Mm-hmm. And he said, we could go home. But at that time, that's when I call it the raccoon phase. I had the 2 circles and around the mouth. I still had blotches of my dark skin, you know. But yeah, it was just like, ugh. But that, you know, from that, and then I promise you, if it wasn't for our support group, I wouldn't be the person that's sitting in this chair today.
You know what I think sometimes the reason why they fear that as Caucasians is because they're seeing the truth that God created us all the same. And that, you know, just because I have this color, we're all the same. Because if he removed this color, we're the same color. So I believe that that's something that they was facing right in front of their face, and they couldn't handle it, and they couldn't. So they figured they would rather deflect it on you than to accept it for themselves and understand. Yeah, we're all the same. You just happen to have.
I just happen to have
more melanin in my skin than you do, and it's just that now that it's actually going away and I'm losing it, I'm starting to look just like you, and they can't understand it.
And I say that all the time. We are all the same, yet different shapes, different sizes. But it's 2 things we all want. 2 things. We all want acceptance and we all want love.
That's right.
I don't care who you are across the board. Everybody can agree. I want acceptance and I want love. And all of us. That's why I say God makes no mistakes.
No, he doesn't.
We're all here. And I feel if he gave this to us to be examples to the world, to show them this does not define who we are. It's what's in here.
Yep.
Because you can be as beautiful as an Egyptian princess and be just as tainted on the inside and full of poison.
I've seen a lot of
another thing. If God took all of our sight, if God took all of our sight and no one could see, then what? Right. You have nothing to judge me on.
Right. We're too
but the
busy trying to help
content
each
of my
other.
heart. The content of my heart is the only thing that you would have. And we
So,
need
That's-
to. Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry. I'm so
Mm-mm.
sorry.
What?
I'm just gonna ask you. So you said that it is an autoimmune.
Mm-hmm.
So during the heaviness of the pandemic, you had to be super careful, huh?
No. How careful I wasn't going outside, period. I was good. So
Don't blame me.
I was
That was
like,
me too.
good. But you know what? I look at it, and I could just say for me, because it's not for everybody, but I just felt within my spirit
Mm-hmm.
that God was telling me that that was my time because I hadn't gotten so far away from him. So it
Wow.
was my time to reflect, reframe, and rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Reflect on where I was to where he's bringing me to. Rebuild my mindset to do better, and reframe. Don't pick up those old things no more.
Mm-mm.
Come, and I think that he was trying to tell us we have gotten so far from him.
Very
We've
much so.
done so many things because coming up, our culture was family, church, community. Now
Mm-hmm.
what do we have? Television,
Social media.
the phone, social media. You can be in the house with 6 people and no one
Everybody
is
on their
talking
phone.
to anyone.
You
Mm-mm.
better say
Everybody
that.
is like this,
Yeah.
And so
And
when
then,
that came, I meditated, I started eating better, exercising, but I was getting my mind and my body right. I need to go back to that because it's so easy for us to fall right back into where we were.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So the pandemic, now one thing that I will say, I was afraid to take any of the shots because if you're giving me something that's going to attack what my body already thinks that's bad, if I already have a deficiency and you want to give me this vaccine and it's going to go to the part that it thinks that needs to be eliminated, and my
Right.
body already don't know what should be eliminated, not
Yeah.
taking that
Right.
because I already have an issue. And you using us for anyway. You're not going to experiment on me and then I die, and then no one would say it's COVID. But I'm not crazy, and I listen to God. Sometimes I'm hard-headed. I ain't gonna lie. Is Charlene on here? Don't you say nothing, Charlene. But I know, but no, during the pandemic, I was okay because I knew who I was trusting in. I knew who had me, and I knew
Yeah.
what I wasn't going to do. And I didn't mind those 3 months in the house. That helped me to reflect, reframe, and rebuild.
I have 2 questions for you. My
Mhm.
first question is, how did your family help you through this? Because I know it was difficult for you. I know it had to be difficult in the beginning. So how did your family help you through it?
That was one of the issues that we were talking about. No one addresses the elephant in the room.
Oh, okay.
When it happened, I asked my mother and I said, "Am I your daughter? Because no one else has this. Am I your daughter?" And she's like, "Girl, if you don't get out my face." And I said, "But I know y'all see me going through this transformation, but no one addressed it." And what my mother said to me was, and it's so funny, I was with my sisters and them this past weekend, and I started tearing up, but I get it now. My mother she said, "We know you." See, she knew who I was,
Mm-hmm.
not what I appeared to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
That's a
she
mother's love.
knew this had nothing to do with it. But that's only because at that time, I didn't accept me. I
Right.
didn't accept this. I was trying to figure out, how am I going to fit in? What are they going to say? I don't know what to do. But when they know you, who you are, this doesn't matter, because who you are is not what you see. It's what I deliver. You know what I'm saying? So when it came to that, nobody addressed the elephant in the room. They didn't act. Not act. That's my sister. That's,
Yeah.
I don't know if now my grandbaby, now she made me cry. My my granddaughter Blair, she was in kindergarten, I think, first grade, and I had to take her to school. And Blair is mouthy like me, even when she was little. And she went and she said, "Stay right here, Nana." Mind you, she's only 5. She went in the classroom and said, "There's nothing wrong with my Nana. She's okay. She looks a little different, but there's nothing wrong with my Nana. Come on in here, Nana."
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I cry. And I'm like, I'm a wuss. And I'm just like, oh my God. And she said, "There's
And
nothing
a
wrong with my
child
Nana."
shall lead them.
And I was just 5. I'll never forget it. I was like, wow, booty. And
Oh,
"Nana, you don't have to cry. Don't you cry, Nana. But don't you look at my Nana funny." And like, if we would go to the mall or something, I'd be like, "Blair, I really don't want to go to the mall. People gonna be." She was like, "Nana, you want me to I'll put some spots on me, and we both gonna walk through the mall."
oh,
Wow.
She would
That's
always
deep.
say the things to make me cry, and never once did she ever say, "Nana, oh my God, they ain't gonna like." She would be my spokesperson when I would have to go to school for her.
Yeah,
You know?
children have a boldness that is that is unmatchable, because
Yeah.
children will say exactly what they already know is in the atmosphere. They'll say it. That's why children and older people get along so well, because they're so honest, and
Yeah.
they'll tell you
Well,
exactly
that's
what
even
they
God.
don't.
He said,
Yeah,
"Out of the mouths of babes will
right.
come."
That's right. That's it.
Yeah,
But you know
I'm
what?
gonna say this to you, Michelle. When I
Yeah.
first met you, I would have never known that you even felt that way,
Yeah.
because
no.
your spirit
I've been
is
through
like,
a
you
whole
have.
lot.
I mean,
Yeah.
your spirit is so strong. When I met you personally, it was like, wow, this person has. I kept saying to myself, man, she got so much guts, and she's so strong. You know,
Yeah. But
so I
that's
would
what
have
comes
never
out of the
believed.
fire.
Right,
That's
but
what comes out of the
I
fire.
wouldn't have never believed that you was actually feeling that way, that you was going
Ooh.
through that, because it just didn't. You just didn't
Yeah.
seem
I
like that.
feel the
When it
exact
first
way.
happened, I thought
That's,
that
that's
God was punishing me. You know,
that's what you
when it
call
first
being.
happened, the first thing I thought was, "Lord, what did I do? What did I do? I'm sorry." You know, I
That,
thought he was mocking me to be a leper, because when you come up in church, that's, you hear those
yes.
things. And I'm like, what did I do? It's like, you didn't do anything. But now I see that he wants me to be, not wants me to be. He's showing that I am a warrior.
Yeah.
And
He will
I'm
give
here
you
to
beauty
fight
for
to show
ashes.
this does not define.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Dot. Dot said, "Are you
Oh,
still going to write the children's book about the cow with the spot?"
you know what? I better do something, because God is telling me, he's letting me know I've put so much aside. And even in that, with fear, you know, and I'm always saying, I don't know if people will accept it. I don't know if I'm educated enough. And then I've come to the realization, education doesn't mean anything, because that from a heart touches a heart.
No.
So I know, and I'm not saying education doesn't mean anything. I'm saying
No,
for
we
me,
get it.
We get it, and
because I felt like, people have their PhDs, their accolades, and I don't have anything, but I do have it, because if God gave me this, and if he is more than the whole world against me, and this is my mission, then I'm supposed to walk in it.
Yeah,
so
it's your ministry.
Even though I can say certain things, he's showing me where I got to step out, and I still have to grow. Yeah. So yes, Doc, I'm going to do that. And I'm also, this summer, I'm getting ready to go to the library so I can start reading to children, because we know the younger they are, they're sponges. They absorb, they remember, right? And so then once I can do that and I can start reading to them, one of the young ladies, I'm going to mess up her name, Pianka, she's 17 now. When she was coming to the conference, so we haven't had a conference in 3 years, right? The last conference we were at, she was too shy to even speak. She wouldn't say anything. So her mother had to speak for her, right? She delivered a beautiful message at this conference. She talked so well, so full of confidence. And she's working with Dr. Panda. Dr. Panda. She's working with him to help bring forth research. I could see her being in the political realm. She's 17, but look how God has let her blossom and to feel good about herself. And so she was saying that when she transitions to schools, how, her parents had asked her, do you want us to go in and talk to your classmates first? And let them know what you have or whatever. And she told them, no, I'll do it. And so she started talking, and that let me know, if you teach them from the kindergarten on up, and as she started to excel through classes and different grades, once she told the kids what she had is not contagious, they began to be her warriors. If somebody said something, oh, look how she looked, they would get ready to jump on. Don't you be saying that about her. She's this. But all they need is education.
Yeah. But we want to thank you, Michelle, for coming on the show today. Unfortunately, our time has ran out. So we can do a part 2 if you like. You always welcome to come back. Yep. And because I think this is very good to educate people on what you're dealing with. I don't want to mess the word up again because they already.
I'm gonna help you. Listen, no, vitiligo, just like the Lego, the Legos just is LIGO. Vitiligo.
Vitiligo.
Come on, Laura, say it. Vitiligo.
Vitaligos. I said it.
Adrian said she's supporting. I think she said supporting.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here it is.
She said supporting my village, sister.
No, vitiligo sister. That's my sister. That's Adina. That's Adina.
I ain't got no glasses on, but I know we got to get off. But
yeah, let me get you mine
right quick. I just want to say right quick, I'm so proud of you, and I want to piggyback off of what Laura said. I would have never. I thought. Let me tell you something. When I first met you, I was like, this woman, your spirit beams confidence. And you know what I'm saying? The love of God. And I'm really proud of you, honey. And you keep on doing what you're doing. You keep trusting who you're trusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely got you. That's for sure.
Well, she is like you, a light to the world. That's right, Danielle.
Oh, wow. Thank you. But we keep hope alive and we keep strong. And just know, this does not define who we are.
That's right. I am not my hair. You seen my video I had put up, the song I put up for you with your picture. I said, I am not my hair. I am not my skin.
That's it.
I know I can sing.
None of us are. None of us are. None of us are. Yeah.
Right. Listen, Laura, this is a good show. Don't ruin it. Please.
I know y'all want me to sing, but I'm not.
No, ma'am.
Today,
Michelle, you have to come back, please.
Yeah, I will. Just let me know. Yeah, let me know anytime.
Yeah, we
Anytime.
have part 2. We need that part 2 because we want to get more into it. I had some questions, but we don't have time to ask. So, but anyway,
Well,
you can
next time I talk too much, just tell me to be quiet. You ask the questions and let me answer. Because, see, I can go. I love y'all.
We
love
love
you
you
Quinn, too.
too.
So we used to it by now. All right, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. I am Laura Simmons, and we are out of here. Thank you, Michelle Hood, for coming on the show today. Good night. Love you guys.
Love you.